We begin this morning with President Biden in Poland and preparing to get a firsthand look at the human toll of Russia's war against Ukraine. The United Nations estimates more than 1,000 civilians have been killed and at least 1,600 others were wounded in the besieged southern port city of Mariupol. This includes 300 people in an attack on the theater that was being used as a bomb shelter and had the word children written in big letters on the ground outside. This morning, Mr. Biden dropped in on a meeting between Secretary of State Blinken, Defense Secretary Austin, and their Ukrainian counterparts.
On Friday, the president thanked members of the 82nd Airborne who are part of NATO's Eastern Front. Poland has taken in a majority of the nearly 4 million people who have fled Russia's invasion. Today, Mr. Biden plans to meet with some of them. Nancy Cordes is traveling with the president and begins our coverage in Warsaw. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning to you, Jeff. A somewhat extraordinary meeting taking place here in Warsaw this morning. President Biden at his hotel sitting down with the Ukrainian foreign minister, the Ukrainian defense minister, who left their country overnight to travel here to Warsaw, about 130 miles from the border, so that the president could hear firsthand what they need and how the U.S. can help. Real-time diplomacy between the leader of the free world and leaders of a war-torn nation. With 9,000 U.S. troops now stationed in Poland, President Biden came to thank them and prepare them for what could be a prolonged mission on NATO's eastern flank.
You are the finest fighting force in the history of the world.
The 82nd Airborne is stationed in Rzeszów, Poland, providing humanitarian aid in a town that has now become a processing point for tens of thousands of refugees. The Ukrainian border is just 50 miles away.
They will not let me, understandably, I guess, cross the border and take a look at what's going on.
In Ukraine, the Russian strategy appears to be shifting. Pentagon officials say they see signs that Russia is bringing in more troops from a Russian-occupied region of nearby Georgia. And they say the Russian military is no longer advancing towards Kyiv. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby. Why do you think they're doing that?
Well, it's hard to know. It could be a negotiating tactic. Maybe he wants to secure more ground where he already has been fighting now for 8 years so that he can gain leverage at the negotiating table. We're not sure.
Today, on President Biden's last day in Europe, he is meeting with Ukrainian refugees. He'll also deliver a speech for hundreds here in Warsaw. And his aides say he wants to not only show support for Poland and Ukraine, but also here in Eastern Europe, cast this conflict as a broader battle between democracy and autocracy. Jeff?
Nancy Cordes, thank you very much in Warsaw, Poland.